Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television, live from Lagos. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal. We'll begin with this picture of a bad overhead bridge located at Fadei, Lagos, according to our Eyewitness reporter. Now, since the bridge is in such a bad shape, our Eyewitness reporter says people are forced to cross the highway. Residents of the area want authorities to help fix the bridge. Close by in Ogun State, this picture shows a gullied road in Ilupeju, Odoeja, Elega in Abeokuta. Our Eyewitness reporter informs that this road is becoming life-threatening and the people want something done about it urgently. This next one is a picture of erosion at Adumawa Road in Benin, Edo State. Our reporter says this often leads to heavy traffic. The people are asking the government to give the road a facelift. And finally to Abak in Akwa Ibom State, where our reporter says this is supposed to be a federal road, but it is in the sorry state. The people of the state are calling on the federal government to please fix the road. I'd like to thank you for sending in those pictures and urge you to please keep them coming. The internally displaced persons who have found shelter in Edo State say if the federal government wants to help them, it should come to them in Benin City, as they are not willing to leave the state capital. The IDPs took the decision when security officials arrived at the camp run by the International Christian Center with 40 buses and instructions to relocate them to Jigawa and Kano states. The news triggered uproar in the camp as the children wept profusely while some fainted. The security operatives who refused to speak with journalists left without accomplishing their mission.
Presence of a combined team of security men at a Christian home for the needy in Ohogwa in Edo State early Saturday morning points to the fact that something ominous is about to happen. Not long after, 38 buses arrived the center for reasons no one can really say. The meetings between the coordinator of the center and the security men follow, at the end of which he announces to the victims of insurgency that the security men have come to move them to Kano and Jigawa states, and that threw the place into a theater of commotion. Some visitors who witnessed the action questioned the rationale behind the decision.
I think this should be stopped until more adequate provisions are made, until people are certain of the welfare of these children before they are moved from this place to wherever government is taking them, and also ensure the facilities are moving them to.
While Senator Matthew Rohide insists more time is needed to prepare the IDPs for the movement.
I've just spoken to them. They said they are going to report back, to their offices back, back in Abuja, so that we're able to allow them, some little time, so that they'll be able to, get their minds balanced.
On their part, the IDPs say they are comfortable at the center and ask the security officials to leave them alone.
If true the government want to help us, why can't bring our help here? Why you have started building your room? Somebody say he want to help you. Why can't he start it? Why can't he build upon the one you have started?
Let them help those that are still suffering, those that are still hidden in the mountain. We that we are being rescued, let them bring the help to us, because we pass through a lot. We face different challenges. Some of our children stay for 2 years without school. This place is a safety place for us, where we can stay without fear and go to school, attend school.
If we are one Nigeria, is Edo State not in Nigeria? So Edo State is Nigeria, but they say that they should carry us to North. Is it because that we have come from North? And me as a citizen now, and all of us here as a citizen, we have a freedom of movement. We can go everywhere in Nigeria. to come to this Edo State is no matter of visa because we are all citizens of Nigeria.
For now, the security men appear to beat a retreat, but what happens next at this center in the coming days remains to be seen.
The police command in Bayelsa State says some security operatives have been killed by unknown gunmen in Nimbi local government area of the state. Police Public Relations Officer of the command, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Asinim Botwat, in a statement confirmed that the gunmen attacked the Joint Task Force base at Nimbi waterfront at about 11:30 p.m. yesterday and killed the operatives in the process. He added that the attackers, suspected to be sea pirates, arrived at the base in 4 speedboats and carted away 2 guns and other weapons from the base after the attack. According to the police spokesman, who could not confirm the casualty figure, a combined team of the JTF, Marine Police and the Navy are combing the creeks to recover the arms and arrest the culprits. The Defense Headquarters has also confirmed the incident, saying the attackers were suspected oil bunkerers. It adds that the incident is being investigated and the Joint Task Force, Operation Polar Shield, has been ordered to arrest and apprehend the perpetrators of the attacks. The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, plans to lead a protest against states that are unwilling to pay workers' salaries. The president of the Workers' Union, Mr. Ayuba Waba, told journalists in Abuja that the union can no longer tolerate excuses from governors who continue to owe workers. Mr. Ayuba also explained that the current 18,000 naira minimum wage needs to be reviewed upward in the face of current economic realities.
About 2 months ago, when the issue of non-payment of workers' salaries came to the fore, about 18 states of the Federation were allegedly owing their staff. Although some states have gone off the list after the federal government waded into the matter, the Nigeria Labour Congress said some states are still unwilling to pay their workers. The Workers' Union is threatening to lead a protest against such states.
Few states have been very chronic in not responding to the issue of salary. CWC have looked at the totality of the issue and have come to the conclusion that the issue of payment of salary of workers as and when due is a matter of largely priority of those states. That is lack of interest to pay workers' salary. It's not totally the dwindling resources. Labour will look at the issues at this level of neck and identify states that have been chronic and will offer leadership to be there personally and physically and lead workers to demand that these salaries be paid.
The unionists also insist that the current minimum wage of 18,000 naira, which some states have not complied with, should be reviewed upward with a legislation.
The 18,000 minimum wage, which was approved and agreed through a process of collective bargaining 5 years down the line, is also due for review, both legally and morally, because of the fact that when we signed that agreement, the exchange rate was hovering around 140, 142 naira to the dollar. Today, we are talking about over 200 to the dollar. So the value of our currency has been devaluated. Inflation over the past 5 years also have increased.
But some lawmakers believe that efforts should be directed at making the industries work rather than focus on the review of minimum wage with an act of legislature.
I rather think that we should begin to look at how we got to where we are. As a young girl growing up after secondary school, I know that we were a producing nation. I know that there were so many factories, so many where young school leavers had to work. So the whole burden wasn't on government. I had rather that Labour will clamor that we go from a buying nation to a producing nation. We buy everything today under the surface of the sun.
Although the federal government recommended a minimum wage of 18,000 naira 5 years ago, not all states have complied with it. And this has led to several agitations from workers in the past.
It has been several years since the commencement of the registration of adult residents in Ondo State. Now, the state government plans to step up the exercise owing to its importance to the state's development. But some of the residents question the government's decision to demand payment for this service. Our next report examines the various angles to this project designed to gather data for planning purposes.
Estimates from 2005 put the population of Ondo State at a little over 3 million. The state is hoping to ascertain this number in order to efficiently distribute limited resources to the people. That thought gave birth to the idea of the state residency card in 2010. The inaugural stage of the statewide registration exercise for the cards, which was on for 10 days, captured over 7,000 residents. In that first phase, no fee was paid, but all that has changed as the second phase now attracts a fee of 2,000 naira. The residency card was launched in 2012, while its usage commenced in 2015, when an additional 200,000 plus residents were registered. The state government has told the people that free social services will only be available to those who produce their residency cards. Amongst the benefits of having the card is access to free healthcare service from state-owned health facilities like the Mother and Child Hospital in Akure, the state capital.
Those people that don't have a Igbeayo card, they will pay 2,000 naira for registration. But if you have it before, you don't need to pay any money.
This is Akure South Local Government Secretariat, and officials are attending to members of the public who've come to either collect their cards or pay 2,000 naira as new registrants.
It's necessary because when they were asked to register, they feel reluctant that the card will not be useful. But now, for them to know that the card will be useful, they have to pay the money.
It's the same lineup of activities in the Idore local government area. A staff member at the data center speaks to us on the process.
You come in with your temporary card, which is we refer to as the white card. Once you approach our desk, we just check your number, the tracking for verification. Once we get your real name and we are convinced that it belongs to you, we just ask about 2 or 3 questions. Once it's fixed into our data, we accept the ownership of the card.
Some members of the public agree that the project is quite beneficial, but want the residency cards issued free of charge, while others call for a reduction in the fees.
Making people to pay for the service of getting the card is outrightly absurd, so to say, because it should be made free.
Dr. Dayo Adeyoju is the Commissioner of Health in Ondo State. He speaks on the relevance of the residency card and why it should be paid for.
That card enables us to know where we stopped, and that card can be presented in any of our facility in the way we are structuring it.
In the meantime, residents of Ondo State anxiously hope that on the long run, this project will make life more comfortable for them.
When the news at 10 returns, the Federal Inland Revenue Service vows to deal with tax dodgers. That's on Business News. Please join us again.